So many network marketers fall in love with a health and wellness product, and then they realize that there's an incredible opportunity to build the lifestyle and income of their dreams. But what happens when you get started and you run out of friends and family to talk to, and what you're doing on social media just isn't quite getting you where you want to be? Well, the truth is it's probably not your fault. It just takes a little marketing know-how that you may not be getting from anywhere else. So on this podcast, I'm sharing with you the secrets that I've been able to learn from all of my top earner friends and mentors. I'm pulling back the curtain on exactly what it takes to get people excited about the wellness products that you have to offer, to help people improve their lives, and to get you to the rank that you want to be at. My name is Soraya Goddard, and this is Secrets to Marketing Your Wellness MLM. Hey, hello everybody. I'm back. Oh my God, I've got so many videos for you this week. I'm excited. I'm playing around with StreamYard again. And so I mentioned this on the last broadcast, and a lot of you guys messaged me about why I moved to StreamYard, why I did that. I'm just experimenting. Like there's nothing more to it. Just trying to figure out what's going on, trying to figure out if that is the right platform for me. Because Facebook Live, just the native stuff wasn't really working out too well. Anyways, let's get into some content. I have a whole bunch of content coming for you, which means a whole lot of videos and a whole lot of podcasts. I had fallen off the wagon just a little bit, but my schedule, as I mentioned in the last one, it's normalized now. And so I can get back into the rhythm and I feel energized. I feel well rested. So say hi if you guys are on live. I am so excited to be talking about this. So I want to jump right in. This topic, as all my topics do, come from you. They come from you, people who are either in my group coaching program, Social Media Sales Secrets, or people who I hear talking about their challenges online. And so I make a list, which I highly recommend that you do, of people talking about things that they need help with. And so here I am helping you guys with what you said you need help with. How does that sound, right? That is market research at its finest. And so this is a recurring theme. People have taken all the courses. They have listened to all the trainings. They are on their team trainings. They're in Rank Makers. They're in my social media training or whatever, right? They're in a million different things. And they know how to show up on social media. They're going through the steps. They are doing the things. They're posting it. They're interacting. But it's just not quite working. How many of you guys feel like this is you? Like you're showing up, you're putting in the work, you're confident that it's got to be working at some point, but it still never does. And you see all these people to your left and your right, and you're like, what the hell? That person posts like about their dog and they enroll 14 people. I'm posting some serious good content over here and I can't seem to enroll anyone. And I don't understand what the difference is. If that is you, I am here for you. And I'm going to share with you 4 reasons why your stuff may not be working. And now these are not just things that I like pulled out of a blog post or things that I think might be the case. This is me doing serious coaching. So let me just tell you, if you guys don't know, so Social Media Sales Secret, not trying to pitch you at all, but you're welcome to come on in. It's my group where I go live every single week and I do training for different people. Now, I do training for my own team as well, and I get to see their stuff. But ultimately, these are people from all different companies of all walks of life, all around the globe. And every single week, I'm digging into what works and what doesn't work for all companies on social media. And so I get a pretty good view over how engagement goes, why people's messages aren't resonating, all these specific things. And it gives me a really good advantage to have a bird's eye view over all things and figure out how, basically how things work and how things don't. Now, I'm certainly not perfect and things change all the time, but let me share with you what I find when I review people's social media profiles. So last week, I went through 2 different social media profiles, for example, and I do this on a recurring basis in that group. And so there's always themes. And let me just share with you the things that I see in order of importance. Okay, so I'm going to start with the most important thing and share with you what works and what doesn't, and the reason why, if you're posting and you aren't seeing results, you might want to take a look at. Okay, are you guys ready? Number 1, you aren't being consistent. That is the number 1 reason why people aren't growing an audience or getting responses or enrolling anyone off social media, is that you're just not consistent. Now, what does it mean to be consistent? I think you need to post every single day on your platform of choice. My platform of choice is Instagram. So I at least at a minimum show up in stories every single day. For the most part, like you might be like, oh, there was one last Thursday a month ago that you didn't do it. Okay, fine, got it. But for the most part, for years, I have shown up consistently on Instagram. I don't show up consistently on Facebook. So this is an anomaly. I will try to be better about it, but ultimately my heart lies in Instagram, and that is where I make most of my enrollments, and that is where I get most of my customers. And so I spend my time there. So what is your platform of choice? And where do you show up consistently? If you're like, well, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook are all my platforms. No, girl, they're not. Pick one and master it, okay? If you have extra time, fantastic, throw some stuff out at the other ones, but you should be known for hanging out on a certain platform. That should be your thing. So where is that platform, and are you being consistent? That's number one. And be truthful with yourself. Like, I'm not here to beat you up about it, but if you feel like you're not getting the results you want, but you're not actually being consistent in it, well, there you go. That's the place to start, okay? So number one, be consistent. Number two, my second piece of advice is that you lack or may lack clarity in your message. You may lack clarity in your message. So most of the people that I run into, that I coach, that I talk to, friends, you name it, they're consistent, but it's still not working for them. And so they're like, no, Sarai, that's not the case. I'm like, okay, got it. Cool. Let's look at your message. What is your message? What is the thing that you are showing up to convey to people? I want you to think about someone who you follow on Facebook or Instagram that you really enjoy following. Not someone you know in real life, not someone that you're close with, but maybe like a celebrity or a coach or a guru of some sort. The reason why you like that person is because they show up and they give you something like of value, right? They share some information with you. They entertain you in some way, but more than likely they have a message. They have a message for you. That message maybe is about health and wellness. Maybe that message is about home decorating tips. Maybe that message is about personal development and positivity. Maybe that message is about how to grow your business. Maybe that message is like me. I talk to you guys about how to grow your network marketing business on social media. Whatever your message is, be clear in it. Be clear in it. Now, what I mean by this, I don't mean that you have to post about the same topic every single day, but what I do mean is that you should be known for conveying a certain message. Like just some sort of message, right? What is your message, and is it clear to the people that you're talking to? This is where I see the classic example of women, and I'm going to it's not always women, but I'm going to use an example. Women are like, I help women maximize their full potential and live their dreams. I don't know what that means. Like, I have no idea what that means. Are you teaching me how to public speak? Or are you teaching me how to be a fitness instructor? Like, I don't know what that means. So that kind of stuff is not clear. What I mean by you lack clarity in your message is that you're vague about how you help people, and you're vague about the way that you show up and share information online. You need to be specific. Okay. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that you have to specialize in one particular thing right from the get-go, although that could help. What I'm saying is that you need to be clear in the message that you deliver. So my message to you is that I help you show up. I give you tips. I teach you how to show up on social media so you can grow your business. I talk a lot about Instagram. I talk a lot about social media. I talk a lot about how to post strategies, all that kind of stuff. That's pretty consistently. In between there, of course, I'm showing my life. I'm showing my dog, my husband, all this other stuff, right? But the main message is that I can help you with a social media strategy. What is your main message, and are you showing up with clarity about that? So many times you think that you're showing up with clarity because you know what's in your head and you know what you want to convey, but for some reason it's just not coming out. I can't get into it in this, and maybe I'll do another episode on this, but ultimately the way that you figure out whether or not you are clear is you need to get feedback from people. However you get feedback is up to you, but you've got to get feedback. I like to call it market research. You've got to sit down with people and see if your message is actually resonating with them. And ultimately, if you're not making sales, that's a clue that it is not resonating with people. If you're not getting leads, if you're not getting people reaching out to you, if you're not getting likes and comments and shares, and your content is just landing like a thud, that's a sign that your content is off the mark and that your clarity is not there. So take a look at that. So number one, you are consistent. Number two, you're lacking clarity in your message. Number three, I'm going to be a little blunt in this one. All right. Are you ready? People just don't find your stuff helpful. Like, it's just not helpful. I know that sounds harsh, but for a lot of you, you are giving information that like I can kind of get anywhere, or that it's maybe just not helpful. Now, I'm not saying you have to be an expert in anything. That is not what I mean right now. I just mean I see so many of the same types of videos and the same types of posts that give the same types of tips, and they're just not super helpful. So I hear you asking it. What is helpful? Well, that's where you also need to do more research, and you need to figure out what exactly are you trying to convey? Who are you trying to help? And what does that person need help with? I talk about this all the time. What does the person who you're trying to attract need help with? This requires you to do, again, research. It requires you to get into Facebook groups. It requires you to talk to people with that problem. It requires you to look on message boards and Instagram post comments and all sorts of stuff like that and figure out what are people really confused about. Make a list of what people need help with and create content that gives the answers and the solutions to those questions and problems. And you cannot go wrong. Okay, my last tip. Are you guys ready? You can create the best content. You can show up consistently. You can have the most helpful thing in the world, like all the best social media in the world. But ultimately, the point of social media is for you to connect with other human beings and for you to have a conversation with them and ultimately make a sale. Now, if you have 10 million leads coming in a day and you've got a funnel and it's all automagic and all that great stuff, and you can just make sales in your sleep, fantastic. Guess what? That's not most people in network marketing, and it is not the most people on your, or not most of the people on your team. It just isn't. And so where people fall off is they show up, they create good content, and then that's it. That's it. Like, they're like, okay, well, how come people aren't reaching out to me and offering to buy my stuff? Well, because you're not connecting with them. I spend quite a bit of time every single day in direct messages on Instagram because, again, that's my platform. So for you guys who are Facebook people, it should be Facebook Messenger. And you should be there spending time talking with people, having conversations. And what are you doing in those conversations? You are, number one, following up with leads and just saying, hey, I saw that you liked and commented on my photo or my video. Is there something that particularly resonated with you? Is there something that you need help with? What kinds of things do you use to solve that problem? Genuinely figure out if you can help that person. And if you can't, no big deal, move on. So many times, some of you guys watching might fall into this category. So many times I have a conversation with somebody in a direct message. And they're like, yeah, I'm interested in your products, or I'm interested in whatever that you talked about. And I send them some info because they asked for it, and then they ghost. And that's fine. And guess what? Ultimately, so many of them come back around because then I'll mention something again 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks later. And they're like, oh yeah, I meant to check that out. And they come back and they buy. We've talked about this before, but Eric Worre calls it high noon, right? The clock kind of ticks, tick, 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 tick. You're kind of giving information, you're interacting with people. And all of a sudden it becomes high noon and they realize that they need that thing, or they need help with whatever you can help them with because your message was clear. And they remember that you're the person to help them with that. And they reach out and boom, you make the sale. So sometimes it's that hard, or sometimes it's not that hard. And sometimes people buy right away. Sometimes it will take a little bit of back and forth. But your social media strategy should be that you're consistently showing up and you're consistently having conversations with people so that when it becomes high noon for that person, whether it be 1 minute after you talk to them or 1 year after you talk to them, that ultimately they're ready. They know what your message is. They know that you can help them. They trust you. You've built rapport with them through social media. They feel like they know you. They feel like they know all sorts of things about you. So they're ready to dive in. Okay, so let me just recap this. The things that you need to check for in your social media: consistency, clarity in your message, that your content actually helps people, and that you're connecting with people and asking them for the sale, having those direct conversations and seeing if you can help them with something. It's really all about the person on the other end of the phone or the screen, right? It's not about you. It's not about how you look. It's not about how great you are. It's not about how smart you are. It's how can you serve the person on the other end? Because the more people we serve, the more content we create, the more we connect, the more we help other people. That's where people then reach out to us because they trust us and they know that we will continue to deliver on what we show them that we can already deliver. So All right, guys, I hope that helped. I will, as usual, upload this as a podcast. So shout out to all you podcast listeners. If you aren't subscribed to my podcast, you should be. Go to sarayagoddard.com/podcast. Lots of good stuff coming. It's so much fun. I like to podcast, but I also like to do these where I can get more bang for my buck, where I can record it as a Facebook Live and then turn it into a podcast later. So I promise you that over the next week or so, I will be doing a lot more of that. But again, go subscribe to sarayagoddard.com/podcast. And if you're watching this like on your phone, on the podcast, listening, watching, you know what I mean, on your iPhone or whatever, take a screenshot, upload it into your Instagram stories and tag me and let me know that you're listening, because I always love it and I will 100% always respond. So, all right, guys, have a good night. Hey friends, I hope you enjoyed Secrets to Marketing Your Wellness MLM. Before you go though, I have something for you. If you are looking to grow your audience online via social media so that you can have people getting excited about your products and reaching out to you to learn more, then you need my cheat sheet that has 50 health and wellness Facebook Live topics that will attract an audience to you. It also walks you through the secret 4-part formula that you can follow on both Facebook and Instagram that is proven to have people reaching out to you. And when you get it, I am also sending you guys an audio file for those of you who love to listen to the information on the go. You can get both of those things at www.sarayagoddard.com/podcast. Again, that's sarayagoddard.com/podcast. SORAYAGODDARD.com/podcast. Thanks so much. Chat soon.